Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I'm going to be speaking about 3 habits that a student of knowledge should always equip themselves with. Now, essentially, becoming a student of knowledge isn't just about memorizing texts and attending classes. Of course, this is good. However, a lot of students, they don't understand that there's habits of the mind that we need to speak about. When you're becoming a student of knowledge, there are things that you need to take into consideration, habits that will make you a better student, so that you can memorize more, so that you can attend more classes. And today, I'll essentially be breaking those down from my own personal experience. So these are habits that have helped me personally. Now, the first thing I want to get into is tasawwur of the mas'ala. So this is having a picture of the issue, conceptualizing the issue. Now, this is so important for your foundations. Being able to understand what we're actually speaking about here is going to help you so much. Why? Because when you're a student of knowledge, you're most likely going to be covering thousands of masail. If you're a very good student, hundreds of thousands, inshallah. But essentially, when you're covering these masail, you need to have a very strong foundation, especially when you're in one chapter, for example. You're in the chapter of wudu and you have a number of masail. You need to be very strong on the one that you're speaking about now before you start to discuss the ruling, before you start to say this is wajib, this is haram, this is halal, this is makruh, for example. And I take an example in the field of medicine. You have a doctor. He doesn't know the diagnosis of the person, but he starts prescribing medications left, right, and center. Now, this isn't going to help the person who is sick. No, the diagnosis will help the person who is sick, which will help the doctor then give the relevant prescription. And this is true for fiqh, for usul fiqh, for aqīdah. This is true for the sciences of Islam. I take another example. Let's say somebody asks, what is the ruling on cryptocurrency? Now, a person who does not understand blockchain, who does not understand conditions, they won't be able to give a ruling of haram, halal. They won't be able to because they didn't understand the issue in the first place. Now, tasawwur here, it means that you define the matter precisely. You ask yourself, what are we actually speaking about here? What's the discussion? What are the conditions? What are the limits of the issue that we're speaking about here? And it's important that I advise students, don't rush to find the fatwa. Don't rush to memorize. Don't rush to attend every class here and there. No. Build your foundation. Be strong in your foundation, because once you're strong in your foundation, your conclusions will be strong. Your rulings, if you say this is halal, this is haram, and somebody asks why, you're able to give a full breakdown. Why? Because you have tasawwur of the mas'ala. Now, I come to the second habit. The second habit here is that you need to apply critical thinking to absolutely everything. You have a student. The student has covered the Shafi'i madhab. They're fully grounded in the madhab, mashallah. Now they go on to comparative fiqh. And they're going into the different schools now. They're seeing, okay, this person differed with this person, this school agrees here. There's a bit of a debate going on here, mashallah. But this is where they slightly fall. They memorize all of the opinions. They memorize that the Malikis said this, that the Hanbalis said this. But they don't actually apply critical thinking. And what do I say when I mean this? They don't strive to see, okay, why did the Malikis say this? How did they get here? What was their ijtihad? Okay, why is there a differing here? Oh, there's a differing on usul here. Oh, this person said that this hadith was strong and this person classed it as weak. Okay, so that's the differing here. How do they reconcile? Oh, okay, these people, they reconcile the hadith and the ayah. These people, they don't. This is why they said that this was sunnah, and this is why they said that this was wajib. This is when you start to apply that critical thinking. This is when it goes beyond you just memorizing that the Malikis said this, the Hanbalis said this, Shafi'i said this. And why is this important? Why is it important that you even apply this critical thinking? Why don't you just memorize that, the Malikis said this and the Hanbalis said this? It's important because it's a protection. What does it protect you from? It protects you from just following the last opinion that you heard. Even worse, following the opinion that suits your nafs. Once you're able to be precise and critical, you stay grounded and you stay honest. And you are somebody who is trying to seek the truth. Now, the third habit may surprise a lot of you, but it's debating a lot. Sisters, let's say you're in a sisters circle and you're revising together. It's very important that you engage in sparring, that you engage in debate. Why? Because this will test both your tasawwur of the masail and also your critical thinking skills. Now, let's say you get given position A and your friend position B. Even if you don't believe in position A, you don't take that opinion, you actually take the opposite opinion. It's still good for you to be able to argue that position proficiently because it tests your understanding to the nth degree. You're able to now steelman. Steelmanning is the opposite of strawmanning. Strawmanning is when you misrepresent your opponent's view. And steelmanning is the opposite. You present that view in the best way possible. And why does this help you specifically? Because again, it will strengthen your tasawwur. It will strengthen what you would actually argue against the opinion by you arguing for it. You're able to fully conceptualize, fully understand it. And then when you actually get the chance to argue against it, you already know what your opponent is going to say. And essentially you will be sharpening your skills. And also it teaches you a very important a very important lesson that you can't just dismiss the other person's view. No. Obviously, we know لا إنكار في مسائل الاجتهاد. Ijtihad is valid. So all ijtihad is valid. So you cannot denounce ijtihad. And when you're able to argue the other side, you're able to see exactly what arguments the other side makes, even though you might take the other view. And this kind of sparring, it will keep you strong. It will equip you with defending your position. So in conclusion, these three habits, having tasawwur of the mas'ala, critical thinking, and also debating/sparring, these three habits of mind will ensure that you become a better student of knowledge. So you're able to, again, memorize more. You're able to attend more classes. You're able to strengthen and solidify your base foundation, which will help you build upon it to become a better student of knowledge. And it's important to mention here that knowledge, it's an amana from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you are a carrier of knowledge, you have a certain responsibility to be sincere, to carry this knowledge with honor, and to sincerely try and pass it on to others. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to do this. Ameen.